everybody, this is This Just In Universal News. I'm Boogie, and I'm here to give you the news. So, as you all know, the new Wii U is coming out, and everybody's anticipating it. Everybody's looking forward to it, and everybody's wondering really how much it's going to cost at this point because we're after E3. Well, I make this podcast around people that are fans of the system and people that are fans of the Nintendo franchise that really want to get a good solid piece of news without speculation or any type of actual debunkery or some type of bashery going on with it, because a lot of places I've seen, they really only got a lot of negative things to say about the Nintendo Wii U, and I think it's a pretty great system. I've been had mine pretty much getting ready to pay for mine since last year when it first was announced at E3. But everybody's not the same. Well, here's the news. First of all, it's Sunday, June 17th, and it's Father's Day. So to any fathers out there, happy Father's Day, and hope you spend time with your sons and your daughters. Right. Okay, now we're going to talk about E3 disappointments and excellence. Everybody seems to have a problem with saying that Nintendo lost E3. I don't see how Nintendo possibly lost E3 because they were the only ones that had that much content to show and to present to the audience in hand. I mean, you had Microsoft, yeah, they showed off Halo 4, if that's what you want to call it, and it was like, even the fans of Microsoft were like, what else? And there was really nothing else. Ubisoft did surprise a lot of people when they announced the games for the Wii U. A lot of people weren't expecting such a wide variety of games. Some people were because they were announced. I personally found that the UK leak for Blockbuster was really, really effective. Like, no one really believed it, but I looked at the list, and I personally have worked there for the company, and I was like, you know, these screens look pretty legitimate, and no one wanted to believe me. All my friends were like, no, it couldn't be. They're just making it up, and I personally have worked there, so it's been, to me, like, I know what the screen looks like, and I really do know that this is what a Blockbuster inventory screen looks like. So a lot of those games that were on there, I think it was like 25, they were pretty accurate right down to the point. So I can honestly say that thank you, UK, because you gave us a very big heads up on what was to come with the Wii U system. A lot of games that I've seen that were coming from Ubisoft were, some of them were basic titles that you know were coming, like Rayman and Rayman Legends and things like that. One of the games that did shock me that I did see was Watch Dogs, which for some strange reason isn't coming to the Wii U as far as we know of. But Zombie U was absolutely fantastic to me. I've never really thought of the stuff and the innovations that Nintendo came up with. I mean, it was around the middle of the interview and the demoing of the system when the girl picks up the controller. She has a controller in her hand, and she starts like bashing the zombie in the head with the controller. That sold me right there. Never before has anybody bashed in a character's head with the controller. I've seen some pretty awesome stuff, swinging it, waggling it. You know, you got your 6-axis control, gyro sensor, accelerometer. But Nintendo, leave it to them, would have you bash the zombie's head in with the gamepad. Fantastic. Needless to say, that's the one on the top of my list, right there next to Super Mario Brothers U. Both of these games I have reserved at GameStop. That leads me into the next subject. This pricing madness. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know who started this, but a lot of companies, retailers, and online sales are like ridiculous. I've never seen a game where there's such high speculation for it. I mean, you got the Xbox 360, you got PlayStation 3. None of their games were ever estimated or speculated to go up into the astronomically out of the ballpark figures, as David Yarnton said. He's the head of UK Nintendo. Astronomically out of the ballpark is very accurate in my book, because $99.99 for a game, seriously, $99.99 for a game, that's freaking ridiculous. I know it's Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I've been a big Nintendo fan all my life. I mean, but $99.99, that's like a futon bed at the local mattress warehouse. Like, come on, man, that's furniture money you're talking about. Anyway, a lot of people are having this speculation problem with the power struggle, what I call the power struggle, because everybody's got this thing of, oh, will the Wii U be powerful enough? And then you got these buttholes in Sony, and they're like, oh, well, it's in a generation of its own. No, it's not in a generation of its own. If it was in a generation of its own, you wouldn't be grabbing their peripheral software and their innovations and taking it and smashing it up into something that you want it to be, i.e. this Rumble game that's coming out on PlayStation. Psh, right, palette swap, complete disrespect, slap to Mario's face with that game. I can't believe they even got away with doing that crap. I don't care what any other fanboy says. Dude, that shit is Smash Brothers and you know it. Period. There is no question about that. It's ridiculous that people are, oh, well, you can't just, yeah. Mashing up characters from all around the freaking game universe of that system and bringing them together on one piece of game and actually putting them together into a blended mesh like a collage and fighting and excitement, that's pretty much Nintendo's scheme. There haven't been many games where they solely base franchise characters on a mashup game like that. So clearly, Sony, you're copying. Get over it. Fanboys, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Don't give me that crap. We had Smash back with what? I think it was Super Nintendo. Yeah, that's when like the first Smash Brothers game came out. Dude, come on. Before Sony even came around. I mean, come on. Seriously, get over yourselves. Microsoft, this is to those MS fanboys that are smart glass. I don't know what smart glass is, but it sounds to me like Microsoft is slapping some Nintendo-esque, proprietary software in a tablet-based application and calling it something that's pretty much, I guess, theirs. Like Owada said, it's flattering, because imitation is the highest form of flattery, and it at first it took 3 years for them to catch up with the whole motion control, which Sony initially came out saying, well, it's kids and it's just, it's just a little excitement. It's not really anything serious. I don't see it going anywhere. This was in 2006. Now in 2009, 10, they're coming out with the Move and the Kinetic. Now I can't say that Microsoft never said anything negative about motion control as far as Nintendo coming out. They actually had a representative that spoke and said that they always go over to Nintendo's booth to see what's interesting that they've got, because Nintendo always comes up with something interesting. I respect that, because they never bash Nintendo. They just, well, imitate them. But, I mean, I guess if you're not talking crap about them, then it's a big difference. Sony, on the other hand, has a problem. A serious problem about crap talking. And it's gotten to the point where they're blatantly coming out what I would deem as schoolyard slang. It's just, oh, I wouldn't be caught dead with a 3DS. And then you come out with the Vita, and it's got like everything the Nintendo 3DS has. 3D sucks. It's not really, it's a gimmick. Now you got 3D on there. Augmented reality is pointless. I don't see it being a main part of gameplay. You got augmented reality. Motion controls aren't anything. They're not going to go anywhere. It's just a gimmick. Now you've got this, what was it at E3? The Book of Spells, where kids are like waving the freaking wand around, pretend like they're summoning spells. I love Harry Potter, don't get me wrong. But it was you, Sony. It was you that said that motion controls was a gimmick and wouldn't catch on. And lo and behold, you've got little boys and girls running around with a spell book and making them reminiscent of Harry Potter. For somebody who doesn't like kids gimmicks and you're all about hardcore and you're about the immediate adult audience, dude, like now you're